where leaders from BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are holding a major three-day summit this week where the group looks to expand its leadership. Chinese President Xi Jinping is heading to the summit today for just his second trip abroad this year. The Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi of India, and Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva will also attend, but Russian President Vladimir Putin decided not to travel to South Africa to avoid facing possible arrest on war crimes.
The heathens rage and the people imagine a vain thing, because World War III has to happen. Because nuclear war has to happen. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Hakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of the millstone, and salutations to the Akim pushing this war in all sincerity and honesty, the whole full elect. Shalom. This is Psalm 221. Why do the heathens rage and the people imagine a vain thing? And that vain thing that these heathens are imagining is them being the next superpower after America and NATO. Okay, that's why BRICS is being developed, because they want to take over that power seat. But the next in power is going to be Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, and Israel's going to be reigning. It says the kings of the earth set themselves and rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. I just want to read that real quick in the NLT. Let us break their chains. They cry and free ourselves. They cry and free ourselves from slavery to the Most High. Okay. And free ourselves from slavery to the Most High. So the NLT basically broke it down, man. All right, because these nations know once Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans get in that power seat, they're going to be in hardcore slavery, hardcore captivity. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Right, because you do all these things to try to stay in power or stay in rulership, mainly Esau, but these nations follow pursuit. Okay, it's a spirit because America is in rulership and these nations follow. But now Russia is leading the fight towards America, and the Russians are a bunch of Edomites as well, and likewise the nations follow. Okay, so the reason this is happening is because Russia is gonna be the main nation or country to destroy America, or to lead that charge against America. There's a Psalms 64 and 1. It says, "Hear my It says a Psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, and my prayer preserve my life from fear of the enemy." All right, so the enemy is Esau and these nations. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. That secret counsel, those summit meetings and whatnot, because they might establish their agenda, but one thing's for sure that they all agree on is that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans have no place in their kingdom. All right, no place but the bottom, building it up. Psalm 64 and 3. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And they do that through their legislations, through their laws, through their bills, their media, right? And they paint the narrative. And your usual narrative is that the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are the wicked, evil, all right? Bunch of niggas, unrighteous, all right? So basically, it's like trading places, okay? They paint us as the ones that need to be hid away or need to be kept away. And when in all actuality, It's Esau that needs to be kept away. It says, Psalm 64:4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. The perfect is the elect of Israel. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Right, and they're gonna shoot. They're gonna bring that wrath down, that new world order. They're gonna bring down those draconian laws. They're gonna bring martial law. They're gonna bring plagues. All right, famines. They're gonna bring fires and storms, earthquakes, to destroy Israel, and mainly aiming at the elect. All right, but the thing is, only 2/3 really is going to be destroyed. So this is Isaiah 16:18. It says, "Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise." Now, didn't they say that the Jews, the Jewish people are in Israeli? Okay, so it's supposed to be peace. Okay, once the Jews come back to Israel, it's supposed to be peace. It says, Isaiah 16:18, "Violence shall no more be heard in thy land." Let's go into the kingdom. So what this means, that we did not return to Israel yet. All right. You can read the whole chapter. I'm gonna read verse Isaiah 16:18. "Violence shall no more be heard in thy land." But what do we see now? We see nothing but violence. Okay, we're in the midst of war, midst of famines, pestilence. Okay, wasting, nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. And there's no salvation here. All right, salvation is coming with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is Isaiah 40, and I'll start at 40:1. It says, comfort ye, my people, save your power." All right, and how are we comforting the people? With the word. All right, with knowledge, understanding, and with the prophecies, right? Because the prophecies is what? This kingdom, our slavery, all right, our captivity is done away with, and it's going to be destroyed. "Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her, that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned." Right, our warfare is accomplished, our iniquity is pardoned. And what's our warfare? Our captivity. Okay, our time living in captivity under Esau, the so-called white man, these heathen nations. "For she has received of the Lord's hands." Yeah, who's she? The nation of Israel. "The Lord's hand double for all her sins." And who was the Lord's given to? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the nation of Israel. "The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our Lord." And that's prophecies, because in the time of Isaiah, this didn't happen yet, but it happened with John the Baptist. Okay, it happened with John the Baptist. He said, "The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our Lord." Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, because a valley is a low place. All right, so the Lord said he's gonna exalt the humble, okay, or the meek. Who's that? The lowly one, the lowly ones. Okay, "And the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain." Meaning what? Everything's going to be set in order. All right, because right now, read Ecclesiastes, it speaks about servants on horses. Okay. That's out of order. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and no flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. And the Lord is going to come in his glory to deliver the elect. The voice shall cry, and he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. All right. This is 2 Kings. Let's go to 2 Kings 17:4. Let's go to 2 Kings 17:1. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hosea, the son of Elam, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. So you had Hosea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel. So in the time of Judah, you had Ahaz was king. Now, while Ahaz being king, you had Elam to reign over Samaria, over Israel. It says, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. So Hoshea got bound up in prison. All right. Again, so let's just recap. And he did that which was, just recap. So Hoshea and King Ahaz, of Judah, began Hoshea, son of Elah. So Hoshea was ruling, and Hoshea has been wicked. So it says in verse 17:4, therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halal and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of Medes. 2 Kings 17:7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Most High their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. So ultimately it was the Lord that had Israel go in captivity and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel and the kings of Israel, which they had made. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God, and they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And they set them up, and they set them up against images and groves in very high hill and under every green tree. And there they burned incense in all the high places, and did the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wickedness. It says, as did the heathen who the Lord carried away before them. So they started living like heathens, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. For they served idols, wherefore the Lord had said unto them, Ye shall not do this thing. The Lord testifieth against Israel, against Judah, by all prophets, and by all seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servant the prophets. Okay, so that's a powerful precept right there. 2 Kings 17:3. Yet the Lord testifieth against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets. So the Lord do testify. But who's his mouthpiece? The prophets. All right, the servants. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their heart, their necks, like to the neck of their fathers, and did not believe in the Lord their power, and they rejected his statutes and his covenants that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Most High had charged them that they should not do like them. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made grove and worship all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. So Israel was removed from that land. Okay, and they were in captivity on the Assyrians. It says also, Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hands of the spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin great sins. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he has said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. Okay. Now, again to the point, it says, And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Kuta, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. Now Samaria is in fact a part of Israel. Now let's look some of these names up. All right, Samaria. Slakia, not Samaria. Sepharvaim. So it says Samaria. All right. Now, Kata. Let's look that up. So this is right next to Babylon. Okay, basically Babylonians, basically. Okay. Which Babylon today be Iraq. Iraqis. Let's look up Ava. Oh, there go Sepharvim. There go Hannah. Okay. So basically, you get a gist of it. The different heathens or whatnot that basically dwelt in Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Most High. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the city of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he has sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the Most High of the land. And then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom he brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manners or the manner of the Most High of the land. So they had a Levite go and dwell among them and taught them the manners or the ways of the Lord. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the house of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities whether they dwell. And the men of Babylon made Succoth-Benoth, and the men of Kuta made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Ashima, and the Evites made Nibahaz and Tartak. All these different idols and whatnot. It says, and the Sepharvites burnt their children in fire to Adramelech and Anamelech, the gods of Sepharvim. So they feared the Lord, and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, which sacrificed for them in the house of the high places. Okay? So it was a bunch of wickedness going on, but nonetheless, they also feared the Most High to the best of their ability, because it's not in these heathen spirit to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is why we say these heathens, they ain't built to even lead. Okay, that's why they're gonna be taken out of power. All right, they feared the Most High and served their own gods after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence. Unto this day they do after the former manners. They fear not the Lord, neither do they after their statutes, or after their ordinances, or after the law and commandment which the Lord commandeth the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel. All right, because it was given only to Israel to really follow it, So these nations today, they might seem like they have some understanding. They might seem like they're somewhat righteous, but really it goes back to the nation of Israel giving these heathens the laws, which they'll follow some, and then they'll break a whole lot. 2 Kings 17:35, with whom the Lord had made a covenant, and charged them, saying, the Lord made a covenant with Israel. Ye shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourselves to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. But the Lord whom brought you up out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm. Him shall ye fear, and him shall ye worship, and to him shall ye do sacrifice. And the statutes and the ordinances and the law and the commandments which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do for evermore, and ye shall not fear other gods. And the covenant that I have made with you, ye shall not forget, neither shall ye fear other gods, but the Lord your God ye shall fear, and ye shall deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner, which is what got them sent away into captivity, in the Assyrian captivity. I read that to say these heathens, they learned from us. They whatever they know, they learned that from us. That was taught to them. Okay, the so-called white man Esau the wicked, and these heathens, they are not fit to lead. Okay, do not have the fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai embedded in them. It was not given to them. It's not in their spirit. In World War III, when these heathens are raging, ultimately what's going to happen is what? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to be ruling, and Israel is going to be in power. Okay, and it's going to be a righteous rulership. With that, I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kwakwadash, double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders, Grand Millstone. Salutations so that I can push this word, saying honestly the whole full leg. Shalom.